What do I want? I'll tell you what I want, but first I need to tell you what I don't want. I do not want to just sit back and watch as two political parties keep fighting with each other because they are destroying our country. I do not want to accept that there are thousands of homeless people on our streets while the ultra-wealthy build bigger and bigger McMansions so that they can hide behind the walls of their private communities and deny the income inequality that is destroying our society, only to lobby Congress to give them additional tax breaks that only increase their wealth while vast numbers of Americans work harder and harder at minimum wage jobs with pay that is so low that they are guaranteed to live in poverty unless they receive government support, which doesn't really work to support them, but supports the record-breaking profits of the largest corporations and outrageous salaries and bonuses for executives that are trampling upon our rights, damaging our health, and literally raping our planet, while exposing us to toxic chemicals and electromagnetic pollution in order to create zombie consumers whose life is centered around an addiction to spend and buy and consume more and more to the point where we are compelled to rack up increasing amounts of credit card debt or borrow trillions of dollars to pay for college education and mortgage our futures, only to feed the beasts of the banking industry and the Federal Reserve, who electronically create unlimited amounts of debt-based fiat currency upon which they can then charge interest on a national debt that can never be paid off, while the roads and bridges and water mains here in America are in a state of disrepair because our government can't find enough money to fix our crumbling infrastructure? I do not want to accept that the Pentagon can give trillions of dollars to weapons contractors so that our military personnel can fly drones and drop bombs on innocent women and children halfway around the world in order to terrorize them and destroy their lives in undeclared and illegal wars that have been fought to protect the interests of large oil companies, only to have the military give their surplus equipment to local police departments who have obviously become domestic terrorists because they seem to be free to shoot first and kill innocent citizens with impunity under the color of law because they know that no one is going to be able to do anything about it, while they focus on incarcerating mostly minority Americans for possession of illegal drugs such as heroin that somehow find their way into America because our military is busy protecting the narcotics trade in Afghanistan, while they claim to be fighting a so-called war on drugs, which is really a war that is designed to incarcerate our own people and turn them into slave labor that generates the huge profits made by the for-profit prison system. I do not want to accept that Big Pharma has been able to indoctrinate us with endless advertisements for drugs that do not cure anything, but they do provide an endless list of horrible and deadly side effects to the degree that quote-unquote properly prescribed drugs kill over 100,000 people each year, mostly our elderly, while the medical establishment has convinced parents that it is preferable for mothers to schedule the birth of their children via cesarean section so that they can immediately be over-vaccinated, doused with antibiotics and pharmaceutical drugs, fed empty genetically modified food that is devoid of nutrition and contaminated with pesticides and herbicides, that are then washed down with fluoridated water and high fructose corn syrup-laden beverages, only to then be diagnosed as ADHD or autistic, so that they can be poisoned even further with higher doses of mind-numbingly expensive drugs by a pharmaceutical and medical system that sucks up nearly 1/5 of our economy, while the incidence of heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and many other diseases continue to rise. But the FDA would rather criminalize the use of natural plant remedies and alternative therapies that can improve health rather than merely manage disease, because that would actually lower healthcare costs. And then we wouldn't have to wear colorful ribbons and participate in walks and telethons and bake sales to try to raise pennies for research that never seems to find the cure for any of the diseases that are killing Americans. Have we lost our minds? We cannot and we will not fix our economic, military, and health problems with bigger and bigger band-aids. We are never going to be able to solve these issues by trying to defeat our opponents and win elections that are rigged and do not have a paper trail that would allow us to verify the results. It obviously does not matter which party is in power because we keep heading in the wrong direction. We have serious problems that no politician can solve for us. Our problems will only be solved when we come together and agree on creative solutions. And as a united people, we choose to venture out together along a new and better path. I don't want to argue and fight anymore. I want to put an end to all of the conflict and competition and replace it with cooperation. I want to cooperate with people who realize that we need to adjust our priorities and redirect our time, energy, and money away from war and conflict and political battles. We need to stop fighting with each other and start working together. We are supposed to be the United States of America. Let's start living up to our name. I encourage you to join the Cooperative Party. Visit www.cooperativeparty.com to learn more so that we can all work together in order to create a better future for every person in America.